Yo, we are back in After Effects, and in today's video I'll be showing you how to create this dope 3D AK47 spinning animation inside of After Effects. This looks so cool and it also has that laser going on, so we'll be making this. So without wasting any more time, let's just get into After Effects and show you how to do this. So you can see in my timeline, you can see this dope clip right here with the slow-mo going on. I added the slow-mo because I think it looks cool when it's like slow-mo the clip. It is not really necessary, but I recommend it. But in here we're gonna make the animation. So firstly, to start off, we're gonna make a solid because we'll be using Element 3D to do this. If you don't already know, Element 3D is a plugin which allows you to add those 3D objects in After Effects and animate them. So if you already don't have it, just grab it. I think it is one of the best plugins for After Effects out right now. And that being said, we're gonna make a solid, so I'm gonna go to workflow and here's solid right here. If you don't have workflow, you just gotta disable this and go into new and make a new solid right here, and you can just hit OK. And that easily you will make your solid right there. Workflow just helps it to make it a little smoother. So if you want to download this, I will also link it in the description. But anyways, we're gonna add the element in here as I was talking about, the plugin I was talking about. And in here, firstly, we're gonna go to custom layer, go to custom texture marks, and select our clip as the custom texture mark because it's easier for element to match the scene and it will look really dope as well. Now we're gonna open up our scene setup real quick. So let it open. As you can see, scene setup is here, and now to import our model into this, we're gonna go to import and just import it right here, just locate it right here. And actually for the model, I forgot to mention, I'll be using my 3D model pack which I just launched. So it has over 40 plus high quality models for y'all. All of those are really high quality, and actually in my website I'm running a crazy sale right now. What the sale is, if you buy my 3D model pack right now, you will get 3D title preset for free. Yes, you heard it right, my one of the best seller 3D title preset, you'll get that for free. Don't waste any time and go ahead and download it right now because the sale going off within 2 days. So just go over to the description, both of the pack into your card, and you'll get one for free. But enough of that, we're gonna open up our, you can see laser with AK after you download it. I'll open up this and I'll open up the OBJ and hit OK now. And if you don't see your model, just go over to your edit and where it says normal size, just normalize the size right here. And if I zoom into here, you can see our AK47 is right here with the laser. So I wanted to make it a little bigger, so I'm just gonna like bring up the scale like this, and you can see it is on here right here. But as you can see, it is out of the scene. To fix that, just like go over to here and you see like this option right here. It is called the anchor point mover or something like that. So check on that until it turns blue, and then just move the anchor point to your like gun, and you can just like make sure it is on there, so like that, and then just disable it and you can just move it back in at the center. Now we can see we have the laser with the AK47 and it absolutely looks really dope. As you can see, it is a really high quality model. And another thing I recommend doing is going to gun material and scrolling down until you see glossiness and just bring it up so it has that glossiness in it. And to match it to our scene, if you remember, we set it our video layer as a custom layer, so we're gonna go to environment now, and where it's basic, we're just gonna turn into custom layer 1, give that glossiness with our like the video texture, so that's really cool. But in my materials folder in AK47, you can see there is like a normal map which is not applied defaultly. It is like After Effects glitch. So just to fix that, you can just open up the bump map right here and just drag the bump map over here, and it will give it a little bit of texture which I like. I guess we are done with the scene setup now, so we're gonna hit OK to move out. And in our scene, you can see there's our gun right there, but it is not moving according to our scene because it is not tracked to our scene. So to track it to our scene, we'll be using camera track. So firstly, to camera track your footage, just select your footage as usual and go to where it says tracker at the right side right here, and just hit track camera and go to advanced and just set it to detail analysis. Now just wait for it to done tracking. Then after your track is done, my analysis is failed right here, but your might be not failed and you would get some tracking points. but my one is failed. So to fix that, I have a little solution. As you can see in my FX control, we are open up on advanced, go to solve method and play around with these until you get a good track. Let's just set it to typical and see what it does. You can see it brings up quite a bit of track point we can play with. So I'm gonna go to the background and select one of those and make right click and make a new solid and camera. So maybe this, and make a new solid and camera. Can be a little annoying when the 3D camera tracker doesn't work, but you just gotta like work around and fix that by different, like there's like millions ways to fix that. We're just gonna bring up the track solid right here and check if the track is done good. Our track is pretty good right there, as you can see. So now we can disable this and enable our solid there, and if we play it through, you can see the gun is tracked to our scene. It is actually tracked to our subject, but we're gonna fix that. But anyways, now go to group 1 and go to where it says group utilities and go to create group null and just create a group null right here, and then you can just bring it up and just put it at the side where you want it. So I want it right here, so something right there. So as you can see, that looks hard right there, I guess. Then you can see it is moving with our subject. We don't want that. We want it to move to our camera and look like it is floating or something. So to fix that, just bring up the position of your group null, which is our 3D object connected to, and bring up the position of our track solid as well, and just copy the last value right here, as you can see, like this Z value, and just copy the last value right here, which is the Z value. So copy this, just paste it right here, and it will go into the background somewhere. You can see you can just scale it up quite a bit to bring it at the front. Maybe you can just play with that so it is not too far. And now if I lower down the scale a bit and rotate it, and it is not moving as much as it did. So that's really cool right here. You can position it wherever you like. So around here, I'm gonna bring up the size a little bit. So I guess this is pretty good rotation and the position. I'm gonna hit R in my keyboard and just hit the stopwatch in all of these rotations. Maybe we need the Y and X rotation, but we'll see. And then we also gonna hit S in our keyboard to bring up the scale and just keyframe that as well, and hit U in your keyboard to bring up the all keyframe right here. Then go to the fast frame and just bring up the Y rotation to 2, and you can easy ease those keyframe, and you can go to graph now and just make a graph like this, and you can just extend it like that. And now we can see we have this simple spinning animation like that. That looks really hard. You can even extend the keyframe a little bit more to get a little longer animation if you like. So something like this maybe. Yeah, that looks really hard right there. Then go back to the fast frame and just make the scale keyframe to 0 as well. Easy ease both of these keyframes, selecting those, and just make a graph like this in here too. So it like slowly pops in like that. Looks really hard right there. And now I think the animation looks really cool. Still our like 3D object doesn't look that realistic. So to fix that, we can play with some render settings to get it to our liking. So first thing I like to do is go over to render settings and just go over to where it says ambient occlusion and just turn that on and just bring up the intensity right here. What it will do is give it a little bit of shadows in some part, which would actually feel like a real object. So if I turn it off and on, you can see it gives some shadows. And then you can go over to lighting right here and just change the lighting to whatever light you like. 360 would look actually dope in here, maybe something like that. As you can see, it is actually matching to the scene, but you can go with anything you like. It completely like depends on your scene. As you can see, this also looks cool, so you can also rotate around these lights to get different result. As you can see now, I think the lighting really matches because we wanted like the yellowish tone, and it has exactly given us that. Now for the laser, if I like bring up my resolution, you can see it is like completely solid and it is not like translucent as laser should be. So to fix that, we're gonna go over to scene setup now. Just go over to this laser matte material and just bring up the diffuse so it's like really bright, and scroll down and just bring up the ammunition as well to around your liking, so something like this. So we can add some glow in it. Then again scroll down to the end, and in advanced you can just lower down the opacity to around like 12 to around like 50 or 40%. It gives that like translucent type of thing, so you can see it looks really translucent now. So yeah, I think that looks really cool right there. Now we're gonna back out, and if we take a look, you can see it is already looking fresh. Now we can just turn on the motion blur to add some smooth motion blur in it. You can even add some RSMB to spice it up. So RSMB, if you don't already know, this is also a plugin right here. Then to add the glow on the laser, we're gonna go over to the render setting once more on the element and go over to where it says glow. Just enable the glow and it will get this like crazy glow instantly, but we're gonna lower down the intensity to something like that, just to give it a little bit of glow like there. Now if I play through, you can see this dope animation, but I like to add more glow into this. So for that, I'm just gonna add an optional glow in here and just bring up the highlights only. If you don't already know, this is also a plugin, but anyways, bring up the highlights only, bring up the size as well with it, and just lower down like the amount, and just go to alpha channel and just set it to extended almost. Then you will get this dope glow in it. You can actually add a curves with it, just to give it a little contrast, so it looks a little contrasty like this. Yeah, I guess that looks really dope right there. Then now we're gonna add some finishing touches. So as the clock rotates, you can see it covers our artist's face. We don't really want that, so we're gonna duplicate our footage and just put this above all. So pretty much above all of those, over to the first frame and just set your resolution to full. Now you can delete your camera track and just like start rotoscoping out your subject. If you don't already know how to rotoscope, you can just search it up. It's really simple, but I'm just gonna skip this part right here. Now after you check if your rotoscope done correctly or not, just freeze it, so it freezes in our rotoscope, and we can add some effects after this as well. Now after it's froze, go back to your composition panel, and now if you play through, you can see the Glock is behind him. That's exactly what we want. But now to add some depth of field on our scene, I'm gonna select my background layer and just add a fast box blur in it, and as it goes, we're just gonna blur out the background so it like focuses on our Glock more, so something like that. Now we're gonna add a simple zoom. So for that, you can just like select all of the clip and just hit pre-comp right here and just set the anchor point to our gun, and you can just bring up the scale, put it at the first, and just scale it in a little bit like this. Maybe put it over here and just scaling like this. Then you can ease those, go into graph and go into speed graph and make a graph like this, so nothing too crazy on the graph actually. Then you can turn on the motion blur on that layer as well. And I like to add an adjustment layer right here using workflow, and then I'm gonna add a CC vignette in here just to like focus our Glock as it zooms up. So lower down the amount to 0 at first and go over to here, so it like really goes dark and shows our like AK47 as the highlight. So that looks really cool right there. And finally, I'm gonna add another adjustment layer and add my shake from my shake pack. So I'm just gonna open my shake pack right here. I'm gonna go over to SD and just add the best one in here. I guess it looks really hard. So at the beginning right here, and you can see that really adds the energy and the flicker that we want. So if you also want to download this, I'll link it in the description. You don't really have to have this, but it makes the process a little easier for y'all, or you can even make your own shake. But anyways, our final result looks something like this. So that's it for today's video, guys. If you like this video, please consider hitting the like button and also subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And don't forget to download the 3D model pack. I'll link it in the description, and also take the advantage of the sale going on because it's actually really dope. So yeah, I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace.